Hey people, welcome back. So today we will see how we can create load balancer on Azure. So before creating load balancing service on Azure, let's first understand why we use load balancer. For example, when you deployed your application on particular server, it might happen that your application may get crashed because of certain glitch, because of memory consumption issue, resources issue, or the number of increasing client requests. So to avoid this problem, load balancer comes into picture. Load balancer is balance the load of your server. It balance the network traffic, so it makes your application or server reliable and also faster in performance. So let's start with load balancing service demo. So before creating load balancing service, we required virtual machines and availability set. So we will create first availability set and Windows virtual machine. Now what is availability set? Availability set is nothing but it's a grouping of logically virtual machines. We can group multiple virtual machines under availability set, so by which they can share the same resources or power or physical resources. So I have logged into the Azure portal, so just type here availability set and we will create availability set first. So press this button, create availability set. So I am using this Visual Studio Professional subscription. So let's start to fill the information. Give resource group. Resource group, I have already created this resource group. Resource group is nothing but it's again a logical grouping of your all resources, all your services. So I have already created this resource group. After that, give the name of your availability set. So give availability, my availability set. I am selecting region as East US 2, and this is fault domain and update domains. Fault domain is nothing but where your virtual machine can use the same physical resources and power switch, and update domains where your virtual machines can plan their maintenance activity together. And I am using the manage disk as yes. So go to next tab. I don't need this require information right now, so go to next tab and give availability set. So test availability set. Go to next, review and create. And meanwhile we'll create virtual machine, Windows virtual machines. So validation is passed. So create availability set. The initialization is already started, so is submitting the deployment. So go to Azure portal. So type here virtual machine, and we will create two virtual machine for better understanding of load balancing or load balancer. So press this create virtual machine. Now okay, select your resource group as RSG test. Okay, so our deployment is completed for availability set. This availability set will require while creating virtual machine, because we will group this virtual machine under one availability set. So give virtual machine name as VM1. After that, select your region as East US. Here availability option, select availability set and give your name of your availability set. Okay, it's not showing me because I have not refreshed the page, so let's refresh this page. And let's give again resource group RSG test, virtual machine VM1, your region East US, availability set, give your my availability set, name of availability set, and select Windows Server 2016. You can select a Windows Server any version 1916, and select the size of your virtual machine, that is 8 GB RAM and 2 virtual CPU. I am selecting this option. Give your username as demo and password. Allow inbound ports HTTP and HTTPS. Go to next tab. Select OS disk standard hard disk. I am selecting these options which are required. Others are advanced option, or you can customize these options as per your requirement. So I don't want this right now. So networking tab, I don't want to change some options. Boot diagnostic, I don't want this. Enable shutdown, I don't want this. Go to next tab. Virtual machine 1, Windows virtual machine 1. Go to next tab, and it's running a final validation. So let's jump to second tab for virtual machine 2. Again type here virtual machine service, hit this button. Okay, so let's create. Okay, so validation passed for virtual machine, so create virtual machine 1. Meanwhile we will create virtual machine 2. So give your research group RSG test and virtual machine VM2. Your area is TOS. Availability set, my availability set. After that your Windows Server 2016. Select the size of virtual machine. So select this 8 GB RAM and 2 virtual CPU, and give username and password. Okay, allow inbound ports HTTP and HTTPS. Go to next tab, disk, select standard hard disk. Go to next tab. The networking, don't want to change. So boot diagnostic, don't hit right now. Go to next tab. Go to next tab. Give name of VM2, Windows VM2. Go to next tab. So for virtual machine 1, my deployment is started on Azure already. So let's create virtual machine 2. So it's running a validation. Okay, so validation is passed, so create. So we'll wait some time. So guys, our deployment is completed for virtual machine 2 as well as virtual machine 1. So now we will log to this virtual machine Windows Server on Azure, and we'll set up IIS and we'll customize the one HTML page. So just go to resource for virtual machine 1. We'll do this same activity same for virtual machine 2 also. So let's connect using RDP, remote desktop protocol. So just download RDP file and open it, and just give your username and password. Okay, so let's connect it. Meanwhile we will also log to the virtual machine 2. So just go to resource, same as virtual machine 1, connect it using RDP, and download RDP file and just open it, and provide your username and password. So demo. Okay, so let's set up IIS and customize one HTML page for better understanding of load balancer. So we'll wait some time. It is initializing the server manager. This is my VM1 and this is VM2. So guys, let's set up the IIS for virtual machine 2 and customize the HTML page. So just go to add roles and feature, next, 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 select this web server IIS and add features. Okay, sorry, select this web server IIS and add features. Just go to next, press next button, next, 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 and install. I have done the IIS installation for virtual machine, so we'll install the IIS for virtual machine 2. We'll wait some time. Okay guys, so let's check where IIS installed or not on virtual machine. Okay, if you see, installation is succeeded for virtual machine 2, so just close it. Now go to C drive and your inet folder. So go to C drive, inet pub, www-root, and we'll customize this HTML page. So just open it with notepad and we will add one line here. We'll add h1 attribute, hello from VM2. I have done same for virtual machine 1, so just save it, and now we will see our virtual machine is running or not. So just copy this IP address and just paste on browser. So this is my virtual machine 1, and for virtual machine do the same activity, copy this IP address and paste into browser. So this is my virtual machine 2. So our virtual machine successfully installed on we created on Azure. So now let's come on main point, load balancer. So we will create load balancing service. So just type here load balancer and create this, press this button, create load balancer service. Now give your resource group as RHS test, your name, so LB load balancer, simple name. I'm selecting region as East US2. After that type public and SQ as basic. So it's SQ is nothing but your CPUs and your configuration. So I'm giving public IP address as a new, so my IP name is PIP, public IP, and I am giving this public IP address as a dynamic. So just go to next tag, give as LB my load balancer. Just review and create it. So validation is passed, so create load balancer. So while creating load balancer, there are 4 important steps. First is front-end IP configuration, second is your backend pool, third is your health probe, and fourth is your load balancing rule. So we will create these step by step for load balancer. So my deployment is underway. We'll wait some time. Okay, so your deployment is complete. So just go to resource, and now we have these 4 important things: front-end IP configuration, backend pool, health probe, and in load balancing rules. These 4 steps we required to create load balancer. So go to front-end IP configuration. This is nothing but your public IP address. So we'll communicate to virtual machine via this IP address. So the IP address is not populated here because first we have to create backend pool, after that health probe, After that, load balancing rule. After creating these three things, automatically the IP address will populate here. So just go to first backend pool. Now what is backend pool? Backend pool is nothing but the group of your virtual machine. So it will internally communicate to virtual machine and decide to which virtual machine get connected. So give your backend pool as BP. After that, virtual network RAG test associate to virtual machine. So add your virtual machines here. So I have created two virtual machines, so just add it, and it is validating. So first create backend pool, after that health probe, after that load balancing rule, and then use front-end IP, public IP address to communicate with your application server. So wait some time. Okay. It is taking time. Let's check it's working or not. So meanwhile we will create health probe. So just go to home, just put your load balancer, and we have created this load balancer. Just go to load balancer and select health probe. So we have created backend pool. Now health probe is nothing but it's defined, or it's give the healthy status of your virtual machine or your instances. So my backend pool is created. You can see virtual machine 2 is running. Now creates health probe. So just add it. Give the name of your health probe. So HP. Give the protocol your by which you can check your status of the instance of your machines or status of your machines. And this is nothing but the path. I'm giving the default path, the port number, and its interval and your threshold. So just okay it, and it's updating the health probe. If you go to front-end IP configuration, see still the IP address is not populated here. So one thing is remaining. Go to load balancer rule. We have created backend pool, health probe, now load balancers. So my health probe is in working progress, so it is showing me updating. You can see here creating probe is in progress. So it is still taking time. Just refresh it one more time. Okay, so I have created the health probe. Now let's refresh it. So now let's create load balancing rules. So load balancing rules are nothing but the rules by which the traffic will go to the particular virtual machine. So just add it, name of your load balancing rule. So LBR. After that, this is your front-end IP address. your protocol, TCP port, backend port, your backend pool. We have created backend pool for 2 virtual machine. We have created whole health probe for virtual machine and press OK. So if you see now, when we refresh, see the IP address is populated here. So by using this we can communicate to application server. So now it's showing me virtual machine 2. So now let's check whether our load balancer is working or not. So what I will do, I will stop one virtual machine. So go to virtual machine and I will stop virtual machine 2. So what will happen now when I already stopped this virtual machine 2? So when I will hit the URL, it will show me virtual machine 1. So instead of your application get crashed, it will redirect to another server, so by which it can give you a more 99.99% uptime, by which your application runs smoothly. So let's check where virtual machines 2 stopped or not. So it's already in work in progress, stopping it. So we'll wait some time. Okay, so we have stopped this virtual machine 2. Now let's try to hit the URL. So if you see, it's redirected to virtual machine 1. So we have successfully implemented these load balancers on virtual machine. So that's pretty much from my side. See you in the next video.